Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirklin.
Powerful and provocative. Prophetic and practical.
Intellectual stew.
Informative and inspirational. How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do.
Intellectual stew.
Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
Intellectual stew with James Kirklin.
Doing all my little sharing right now. Gotta get used to the new start time. Nobody's here yet. Can you hear me, Karen? Better now. Can you hear me, Faye?
The music was just louder than your mic.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm gonna do it one more time. Wait on some more people. Give us a couple more minutes, y'all. Let's wait on a few more people to come in. Y'all, if you would share it right quick to your personal pages. We'll see if we can get an audience in here right real quick. Tag some people. Let me tag you, brother. About 34 seconds. And we'll see where we are. Check out the technical difficulties. Make sure our sound is right. Get this conversation started. All righty. Good evening, everyone. How y'all doing?
Hello.
Yeah, you still can't hear me?
I can hear you, but it's very low. Let me see if it's my phone.
I can hear you.
You hear me fine?
I can.
All right, good. Faye, you hear me fine?
I can.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Good.
so it's just my phone, but okay. Let's
All right,
roll. Let's
We
roll.
can see. Yeah, I can see you better tonight, though. We understand Ashley won't be on for the first part of the show because she's trying to get her house situated because she's getting off. We're trying a new start time tonight with 9 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. So we kind of cut into her motherly duties during this time. So she's gonna have to kind of juggle duties while she's on the show tonight. Ashley, you good?
I'm good. I appreciate you trying to accommodate me.
Oh well, we appreciate you for
I travel and I don't get in until about 6:30.
How long it take you to get to work?
About an hour and a half.
Oh wow, you drive halfway to Memphis, don't you? Okay.
Yeah, I right in between I get off, I'm in the Delta between Brinkley and Helena, Arkansas.
Oh wow. So yeah, you do have a nice little ride.
Yeah.
You do have a nice little ride. Right. Faye, you using the green screen?
I just have a background.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's nice. All right, good. All right, Faye and Lady Karen, how was your day?
It was amazing. Today it's been a very good day.
Good.
Very good day.
So good. That's a good thing. Hopefully it's contagious and we can have a good conversation tonight and we can kind of get this thing going, get this conversation started tonight. I'm hoping some few people will jump on, but what I've learned is more people listen to the replay anyway, so it's not as big a deal during the show. It's just main thing is to have the content available. And last week we started the conversation about when mothers are jealous of their daughters, and it triggered some responses. It triggered some outside conversations. I've had people come in my inbox talking about the conversation. I think Faye, you've had several people talk to you about the show, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And what was some of the feedback that you got?
It actually was very positive feedback. I have one girlfriend who was listening, Cynthia, and she kept trying to get off, but we, were going into information that was very informative and interesting for her. So she ended up staying on longer than she wanted to stay on, which was a good thing.
That's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. Did any of your people jump on, Karen, or do you know if they were able to listen in last week?
I'm having the problem with seeing the chats. I have to go out and then hit the chat button at the bottom or look at them on my desktop. And so that's an issue. And even now, I'm going to go out and come all the way back in because it's hard for me to hear you. And my
really?
phone's volume is all the way up. So,
Miss Karen, the thing with the chat, I don't think that that's something that can be fixed. Because that's the same way I have to look at comments. I have to click on the chat button and then go to comments. So I don't know if that's because of where we are, because he has us inside of this StreamYard. And so we're not looking at it like someone that's actually joining it. So that may be, I don't know if that's something you're going to be able to fix.
Okay.
Yeah.
The very first time I was on, I could see it, but I think that may have been a little different. Okay, but I'm going to go out and come back. Is that okay, James?
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Faye, can you see the chat?
I can see the chat. I just can't comment.
Okay. I got you. I got you. All right. Well, good. Hopefully we can work around those types of things. But listen, let's where do we leave off last week? We talked about what the four things, four characteristics of a mother who would be jealous of her daughter. And I think the four characteristics was: number one, she was a narcissist. Number two, she might be going through menopause. Number three, she has unfulfilled dreams. And number four, if I'm not mistaken, was she was emotionally unavailable. Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
She was emotionally unavailable. All right. Tonight, starting out, Faye and Ashley, I want to unpack that first point about her being a narcissist. And I want to really, Faye, we talked about doing this, but I want to start the show off with this tonight, talking about those 9 characteristics of a narcissist. And because, like I said, like I said last week, I think so often we really use that term so loosely, if to describe anybody that we don't like or that's acting contrary to the way we might want them to act, we automatically call that person a narcissist. So starting out tonight, I want to start the show off with talking about some of the 9 characteristics of a narcissist. The first characteristic of a narcissist, Faye, and you. What was the name of the manual that we got these signs of narcissism from?
DSM-5.
DSM-5. What does that stand for again?
Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders.
Okay. So these
and
are the
the
9.
5 is it's on the 5th edition.
It's on the 5th. Okay.
Mhm.
Gotcha. All right. So the 9 signs of narcissism. And in order to qualify as being a narcissist, you have to have 5 of these signs. The first sign is a grandioso sense of self-importance. That's the first one, a grandioso sense of self. Go ahead, break that down a little bit for us, Faye and Ashley. We'll talk about that too. What's a grandioso sense of self-importance?
Basically, is that you're more important than you actually are. You feel that you're more important than anyone that's around you in your surroundings. So you would see yourself first over any and everyone, even though there may be someone in the room or someone that's related to you that's more intelligent, better looking. You just have this inflated sense of importance.
Inflated sense of. Ashley, you want to add anything to that?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry. You are not a ma'am. No, sir. I think Miss Faye did a great job.
I don't think I'm a ma'am either. That's good.
You're not. Far from it.
All right. Ashley, can you see the screen?
I can.
Read the second one for me. This is the second sign of narcissism.
Preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, and ideal love.
Or ideal love. Okay.
Or ideal love.
Yeah. Faye, give us a thumbnail definition of that, please, ma'am.
Well, it's basically like a fixation on wanting to become successful, wanting to be in control. You're fixated on these things. You're fixated on being the most beautiful person, in the room. You're smarter than everyone. It's just, you are just fixated on these things that make you stand out and make you, in your mind, appear to be better than everyone else.
Okay, that's a good definition. Signs. Okay, that's second sign of narcissism. A preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. So we're gonna kind of read through them. Faye, you're gonna kind of introduce them, and then we'll go further. Ashley, you're gonna help me read them if you don't mind. So this is the third one. Third one is a belief that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people or institutions. What does that sound like, Ashley?
Are we talking about someone?
Huh?
Are we talking about someone?
No.
I believe that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people. I don't know. I think I'm stuck on that one.
Faye, come on.
For instance, if you're a doctor, you're only going to associate with doctors. You're only going to associate with people that you think are on your level or a little above your level. You will not associate with people that you feel that are beneath you.
Okay. All right, Lady K. What we're doing is we're looking at looking at the 9 signs of narcissism, and so Faye is kind of giving us a definition. Giving us a definition of each one of these signs. And then, because remember last week we talked about one of the signs of a mother that would be jealous of her daughter is one that was a narcissist. And we talked about in order to qualify as a narcissist, you needed to possess 5 of these 9 signs. And so I really wanted to go back and break down the 9. So far, we've talked about a grandioso sense of self-importance, a preoccupation with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Then a belief that he or she is special and unique and only can associate with people of similar stature. So here's the next one. The fourth one is a need for excessive admiration. I'm sure we all understand what that means. Somebody that feel like they need to be admired by everyone, had to be the center of attention. All of those. So we don't have to break that one down. Next one is a sense of entitlement. Do we need to break that one down?
Mm-mm.
Self-explanatory.
If it's self-explanatory,
No.
we'll leave it there. Yeah. The next one is okay, we'll need you to break this one down. Interpersonally exploitive behavior. I think I know what it means, but Faye, tell us what it means, please.
Where, let's see, layman's term, where their behavior, they do have a explosive behavior. However, they try to keep it inside because they don't want anyone to see them at their weakest.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because if you see a narcissist at their weakest, that pretty much will negate them being, you know, that Grandioso.
Wow, that's good.
So is this introducing? So is this like introducing a representative? I'm going to give you something else, so you won't. And I'm asking a question. So is this almost? I'm going to show you something different because I don't want you to see the real me. Is that what I'm gathering from that definition?
Yes, and it can also, you know, also it could be this person will also lack empathy too. The interpersonal explosive, they will lack empathy because they want people to view them a certain way. You know, also, you know, envious of other people. They don't want you to see the real them. Even though they are envious of other people, they don't want you to see that. So they try to hold that in.
Wow, that's good. And I mean, and it's sad when you start saying stuff like that. I start actually seeing pictures of people. I mean, just literally. I'm sorry. I ain't trying to really point the finger at nobody, but I'm actually seeing it in a whole different way. And that, you know, that, and some people think that's a strength, but it's really a weakness. That's crazy. All right, and then the next one, it just leads right to the next one. You said a lack of empathy. A person who actually has no empathy. That's deep. All right, next one is envy of others, or a belief that others are envious of him or her. That's pretty self-explanatory.
So they saying they hating on.
Pretty much. They having a battle in their head. Everybody.
I know a lot of folks. It's never. Everybody is just hating on them. It's not that they just, you know, don't too much care for what it is. It's automatically a hate. I know a couple of people like that.
So if they got one of these, if they got 4 more, then that makes them a narcissist. Then, so you get to know, you get to learn all of them tonight. All right, the next one is a demonstration of arrogant and haughty behavior or attitudes. A demonstration of arrogant and haughty behavior. Yeah,
we know arrogant people.
We know,
like they're better than everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So those are the 9 characteristics of a narcissist, and if you have 5 of those characteristics, then you are, I guess, you qualify as a narcissist. I guess I need to go do a check, go check in the mirror, and make sure that.
I think you have at least 3.
Oh wow! So long as I don't got 2 more, I'm all right. As long as I get.
Well, but you know what? What?
What's that?
One of the good things about what you just said is if you go and try and take a look in the mirror, it's a big possibility that you may want to try and change that. And not a lot of people want to try and change for the better. So, you know, that was a good statement. Go on and look in the mirror and see if you possess any of those things.
I spend a lot of time in the mirror now. I'm much better than I used to be.
Good. That's what you made a conscious effort to change, and that's good.
Is that shade?
It is not. I only know this one person, so I don't know who Miss Faye was saying. She said you had 3 out of 5, didn't she?
I think she just threw it out there pretty quick. I don't know. I hope I hadn't been a case study that long. If I have, that's bad when psychologists sit up and diagnose people all day long, trying to evaluate. That's why I send my representative every now and then, let them know who my representative is. I do that on purpose. I do it on purpose. So we've gotten through these 9 characteristics, and in order to qualify to be a narcissist, you have to have 5 of them. So when we talk about this whole issue of a mother being jealous of her daughter. First of all, like I said, it's still unfathomable for me to imagine any parent being jealous of their child, especially when you consider the responsibility that we have, or that we have as parents, to make sure that we help this young individual transition from birth to adolescence to teenage, through their teenage years into adulthood. That's our charge. That's our responsibility. And the last thing that I can imagine doing, because I think every parent should want their child to do better than them. Now, y'all gave me a new perspective, Ashley, on that whole mini-me thing. Because like I said, one woman got mad at me and unfriended me on Facebook. I don't care. But she's because we talked about they get serious on this thing. I don't get it. But we were talking about the whole mini-me thing. She said, "Well, you're overthinking it." I said, "Well, that's how I think it. I mean, I'm overthinking it." But I was looking at mini-me. I don't want to limit my child as to me being their ceiling. That's why when I say I kind of talk about that mini-me thing. But then somebody said, well, we say that because they kind of walk like us, they act like us, they have our mannerisms, so that's what a lot of people mean when they say that they're mini-me. But with that being said, I think our responsibility should always be to make sure that we help our children transition into becoming the best adults, or best young adults that we can. And my concern is that a lot of us now are not, instead of helping them transition, is that a lot of us are running them away. Because I had a talk with somebody. I had talked with a couple of people this week that literally said that they left home and never left home and left for years and didn't look back because of how they were treated in their homes. Through whether it was some form of abuse or a mental abuse, physical abuse, whatever type of abuse it was, it caused them to rebel or to close up. And when they closed up, they left home for an appointed time and never really ever really looked back. And I think, Faye, do you think, is that what narcissism does? Does it push their child away and isolate them in such a way that they are saying, I can't wait till I get 18 and leave your house, or some are leaving before then? Do you think that's what it is?
Yes, but it goes deeper than that. It's not just a narcissistic parent, because you can be an abusive parent and not be a narcissist. Verbally, physically, it doesn't make you a narcissist. Okay. But if you are dealing with a narcissistic parent, it's very difficult because that parent is always right, no matter what. That parent always wants to be in control no matter what. So it's going to be hard to deal with a person like that.
Gotcha. Ashley, did you hear what she said? She said there's a difference between, she said a person can be an abusive parent without being a narcissistic parent.
Yeah, I heard. I also wanted to elaborate on the statement that you asked about, or the statement that you made about children wanting to leave home because of some of the things that their parents have done. But a lot of times those children aren't getting treated badly at home. It's just the fact that they feel like, because I see my friends doing a lot of things out and my parent won't let me do these things, then life can't be great over here. I got to experience what's out here in the world because my friends have been doing it. So we don't want to mistake bad parenting. We don't want to mistake children leaving home due to having bad parents from a parent just wanting to make sure that their child goes down the straight and narrow path.
But for the sake of this topic, and since we're talking about narcissistic parents, we're not talking about parents who...
I get that part, but we still want to, because you made the statement that people said that they left home and never turned back. So we want to make sure.
Yeah, those people I'm talking about were abused or were mentally unfit. Like I said, in context, tonight we're talking about parents because of narcissistic, because of abusive, and all those things. But I get it. A lot of parents, man, I understand what you're saying is actually valid, but I'm just saying that's relative wise tonight for the sake of this show. We're not talking about good parents and children wanting to just leave for the fun of it. We're not talking about narcissistic kids. We're talking about narcissistic parents. Is that okay? Please, pretty please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That was so cute.
And honestly, I'm saying that, and when I say something, a lot of stuff I say is personal. Okay. And I might not put all my personal business out here because I put a lot out there, and I do put a lot out there. You know I do. But when I say that, I'm talking. Sometimes I'm talking from personal experience. Okay.
Okay, and I get that. I get what you're saying. And as you talk from personal experience, I'll go ahead and dig deep into the personal experience. I just had a conversation with my daughter literally yesterday about something similar to this. And that's what brought me to my comment, because she was one of the ones who said, I know exactly where she wants to go to school. And one of her statements of why she was so ready to go to college and was because I don't let her go to the movies with her friends by themselves. So she feels like I am not allowing her to, air quote, experience things by herself. Well, she's 14. So you think that when you get so just like you said, life experiences or personal things, that's why I made that statement, because some children think that their parents are trying to be controlling, and it's not being controlled. So that
topic is overprotective parents.
Yes,
that's totally different from narcissistic parents.
Yeah. We talk about narcissistic parents. Now, I get what you're saying, and it's a layer, but it ain't relative right now. Thank you very much. Moving on.
Okay. It may not be relevant to you.
Moving on. We talking about this too long. Moving on. But you're right. You're right. I'm gonna say you're right. All right. So the next one, what we're gonna start talking about now is ways. Okay, Lady Karen having all kind of technical difficulties.
I really am. I got my baby girl here now trying to help me out. So
okay.
If I leave out again, I'm not coming back.
Yeah. Oh, no, you come on back in here. But ways if you can. All right, so we're gonna let's talk about the article that I sent you all today. We're gonna talk, and we might not be on the whole 2 hours a night. We might not. We're gonna see how it goes tonight. But I wanted to look at that article I sent y'all today. It's called "The Ways a Narcissistic Mother Might Try to Sabotage Her Daughter's Life," and that's why I started that conversation a minute ago about how it's our responsibility. In fact, and actually, you're doing the exact. I wouldn't let my 14-year-old daughter go to the movies by themselves either. So that's definitely not narcissism. But I want to talk about ways a narcissistic parent, not an overprotective parent, but a ways a narcissistic parent might try to sabotage her daughter's life. Okay, so there are 13 ways that a mother. Oh, I'm sorry. And before I forget, Josh is on here tonight. Y'all remember Josh came on last week, and he's talking about trying to raise his daughter. He said that he needed some help and some advice. Let me find this message he sent me, because he sent it to my inbox today. He said, "Man, I'm trying to come up with questions, but he said what he basically said is it's hard to come up with questions that he doesn't even know to ask." You know what I'm saying? So he said because this is such on-the-job training for him that he doesn't even really know what questions to ask. All he knows is he wants her to develop into a teen and a young lady, and she knows he wants to be a lawyer, all kind of things. But her mother's not present, and it's hard for her to it's hard because he doesn't have a female example in her life. He says she has a job. He says she's trying to find ways to express herself, but he just wants the best he wants the best for her and help set her up for success. So he said he's listening in tonight, hoping he can pick up some nuggets to help him with his parenting of his teenage daughter, and hopefully he can push her and fade in. He said she wants to be a lawyer, like your daughter's a lawyer. So so he's trying to push her in the right direction. So if he can pick up some nuggets from the conversation, those nuggets will hopefully help him, and maybe even trigger him to ask whatever questions he feels like he needs to ask. Okay, so let's start working our way through this list. The ways a narcissistic mother might try to sabotage her daughter. So the first thing she does Karen, can you hear me? First thing she does is she takes responsibility for her daughter's achievements. She takes responsibility. Have you ever seen people do that, Karen?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They wouldn't be who they are, do what they do if it hadn't been for me.
Wow.
I am the one that led them to this person, and I taught them everything they know. Yeah, absolutely. And the kid, you can always tell because the kid usually is very quiet. They don't want to make them, embarrass their parent, the mother. We're on the mother. But yeah, that's more prevalent than you probably think. Yeah.
Anybody want to add to that?
And I think a lot of parents do it and not realize sometimes that they're doing it. Some parents are very prideful, of what their children have accomplished. And in a sense, it's like, oh my gosh, I remember, it's going to practice and me staying up late with them to study. And what they're doing is taking away from the child that actually put in all of the work. I'm just the Uber. I took you to practice, but I didn't practice for you. No. So those are your achievements.
That's true.
I may have helped you study, but you actually are the one that took the test. That's your achievement.
I made a post on Facebook the other day, and a lot of people, I don't think they caught it, but I said it's bad. I said sad when being proud resembles pride. You know what I'm saying? Because you acting like you're proud by, especially the whole social media piece. Posting a child on their accomplishments on social media, but you won't even go in there and tell the child how great they did. I think that's really kind of backwards, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're talking about, and even when you do that, sometimes I think you do it not so the child can necessarily get the accolades, but sometimes you do it so people tell you how great a parent you are. Man, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. And with that regard, you do end up taking responsibility for that child's achievements. I think that's good. Ashley, did you want to add anything to that?
No, sir.
Okay.
That's the one thing that I cringe when someone says congratulations to me when my kids accomplish. Like my daughter graduated law school. My oldest daughter, is a chef, and my middle daughter is a commissioner for Clayton County, and they're thinking, and I get where they're coming from, but I just feel it feels funny for someone to say, "Oh, congratulations to you too, Mom." And I'm like, but yeah, those are their accomplishments.
Yeah.
And I get where they're coming from, but sometimes it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Gotcha. Ash, I'm gonna give you this next one. The next one is she provokes you, then plays the victim when you respond.
I'm asking my child all these questions when we we going through.
Are you really? Okay.
And I'm asking that because sometimes we do things unknowingly.
Mm-hmm.
And me as I don't want to say younger because y'all say I ain't young, but as a mother raising a teen daughter, I want to make sure that I'm talking to the people, but I want to make sure I'm not doing it either. But she provokes you, then plays the victim. I'm over here. Let's see here. I need to ask my daughter that too. So basically, I am, I guess, making you angry, and then at the end of it, I make you feel like you should apologize. And I think that may happen a lot more than we think.
No, what it means is when you provoke a child and when that child responds to whatever you're saying or doing to that child, then all of a sudden, when they respond, you want to play the victim like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean it that way. Or why are you attacking me? That's what it means.
So isn't that the same thing at the end of it? They feel like they should want to apologize to you because they messed up, or they make it.
Not necessarily. No. It's just that you're taking a situation where you've provoked your child, you've angered your child, and now when your child responds, then it's, well, why are you saying that to me? Why are you doing that to me? When you are the one that was the aggressor.
Oh yeah, I see that all the time. You're not necessarily looking for an apology,
just
but
want sympathy.
Yeah, just some. I can see that. That's crazy. Karen, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think, like you said, you've seen it a lot. I've seen it a lot as well. And a lot of parents, I think, and let me say this to Ashley, I think it's really good that you're having that discussion with your daughter. Um, I really do. But um, God, I was about to say, oh yeah, I think a lot of parents indirectly do that. They, like you just said, they may not want an apology, but they want to make the child feel as if to think on it, well, maybe mom was right. Maybe I shouldn't have said, or maybe I should have given her. She did take me. She did, do this, and I think it's really, it's another one, but it's gonna kind of go over into the guilt aspect. Some people just do not want to think that things can happen without them, or they can happen without their input. The mothers always have something to say concerning the daughter. And it's another one we're going to get to in a minute that I really, really want to, have my little 2 cents to put in. But yeah.
That's all you write was 2 cents.
Yeah, I have
Lady
no more than
Karen
that,
has
but
a whole
I have
dollar. She
I
got a
have
whole
to share
dollar.
with
I
everyone.
already know she got it. That's what I'm trying to see why she's trying to sell me short with
Sharing
this
is
little 2 cents.
caring.
Please share. Please share. Please share. All right, so let's go to the next one. Next one is she is unbelievably intrusive.
Unbelievable. Which one?
Unbelievably intrusive. Ashley, are you unbelievably intrusive?
No, I don't think I am, but I do get up in your business. So I don't know. I may need to get a better understanding of that because, yeah. Again, I go back to I'm a mother of a girl, and I got to know. I do give her her space. She do got a little business, but I'm still up in that business.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could be unbelievably intrusive. I could be. Hey, I can act. No, let me quit.
No,
I'm
and
going to
I
ask
think
her
that
all
would
of these
come from the child, what the child's definition of intrusive,
Exactly.
because we may not think it's intrusive, to know what you're doing, or, like for me, I do random cell phone checks. Now, a
Me too.
child may think that's like just over the top, but it's not
Mhm.
over the top because I'm trying to protect you, because you may be receiving, messages that you shouldn't receive, or you may be sending messages you should not, be sending. And then ultimately, if you get in trouble, guess what? I get in trouble along with you because you're a minor.
Wow.
It's funny that you say that because I remember when my daughter first got her cell phone, she got it at like 10, and she had a prepaid phone. And one of the things that I would tell her, and she couldn't understand why she had to do this, but I told her, do not download an app on your phone without getting permission. One of the things that she would do is she would download these apps, but she wouldn't have any type of privacy settings. So anything she would post would be totally public. She had her locations on. And so she didn't understand, first of all, while I was all in her phone looking at the stuff, but it's like you're doing this stuff and you don't even know what you're doing. So maybe I am unbelievably intrusive.
So let me ask you something, Faye. Well, go ahead, Karen. You got your finger up.
Well, I need somebody to define what this unbelievably is. Unbelievable to who? Because
Yeah.
That's what I
when
said.
children are at home, we are responsible for them. So I don't know that there is an unbelievably intrusive parent in this day and time while we have minor children at home. I just need a better understanding so I can say my 2 cents.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder who actually wrote the article. You know what I'm saying? And what age child they were dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Because they're talking about when they talk about every time you set a boundary with her, she completely ignores it. Ain't no child setting no boundaries in my house. You ain't said not. Remember what we said in Arkansas? Not now.
Now.
It was
Right.
an age you couldn't even close the door.
The
You know what
door.
I'm saying? In my house,
Right.
without, of course, as you got older as a girl and all those things, you needed your privacy and whatnot. But ain't no, so I don't know about this whole unbelievably intrusive piece. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they're talking about Ashley, I know you're a young woman. If they talk about you're still young and your mama's, got demanding a key to your door, a key to your house, you know what I'm saying? Got to have a key to your car.
Right.
Maybe she's unbelievably intrusive, and that's, beyond. But if we're raising adolescent, teenage children,
Right.
ain't no such thing as unbelievable. Is that what you're trying to say, Lady Karen?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Not in my,
I'm with
not
you, Lady K,
unbelievably
because
in
I'm
my
gonna.
believe
Sorry.
it, because I'm coming. I'm looking, I'm watching. Yeah, but I don't have
Yeah.
that issue now. My children, the baby is 20, but as teenagers, nah, I don't know about that unbelievably.
Well, I would say if you polled my teen, she would probably say, and based upon whatever definition they gave, she'd probably say yes. She probably would say she be all in my stuff. That's probably how she would say. And yes, I
Kudos,
am.
kudos. Be in,
Yeah.
please do. As a woman with 4 girls, be in her business. Please be in her business,
Right.
Ashley.
They'll
But
thank you. They'll thank you later.
Right.
That's,
Right.
what?
Thank
But
y'all.
somebody like me that's so technically illiterate, though, as far as keeping up with apps and all, I don't hardly even understand apps myself. So when you have an age gap, and there's one that don't understand technology like the children understand. I mean, like for the life of me, I couldn't understand why when I used to have my one daughter on my plan, I could, hey Shantae, I could never understand why every month Apple was charging 99 cents or every month $4.99 whatever, because she was doing all these things on the phone. And we were getting these, I was getting these charges, because I didn't understand it, you know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes I was intrusive too late, if that makes sense. I might have been intrusive to it. Because by the time I was intrusive, my intrusiveness has turned into investigations because I had to try to figure out whatever it was to do damage control and all those types of things. Because I wasn't very intrusive, though. I promise you, I really wasn't. I wasn't. Not unless I had to be, but I really wasn't. All right, so what's the next one? The next one is... And Ashley, this is a simple one. Do you feel jealous and competitive with your daughter? I'm joking. She acts jealous and competitive. A mother who is trying. Those are just coming in. What we're talking about now is we're talking about ways a narcissistic mother might try to sabotage her daughter's life. The first one we said was she takes responsibility for your achievements, for her achievements. Secondly, she provokes and then plays the victim when you respond. Third one we all didn't really agree with was about being unbelievably intrusive, because I'm definitely going to... Ashley said she all up in her daughter's business.
Yes.
And Lady Karen said unbelievable to who? That was she made up. She said unbelievable to who? And that was a good question. I like that one. And then the other one is this is where we are right now, is that she acts jealous and competitive. Why would you be jealous of your own child? Explain that to me, please. Somebody help me.
When you haven't gotten in life where you feel like you should be, and your child has accomplished some of the accomplishments that you want to accomplish, you're jealous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just simple as that. I mean, there are a lot of mothers, they're from like my mom is from a different era. So the things that, I did growing up, she didn't have those, the access to do them. And so even with my daughters, they have more access to do things and accomplish things that I didn't accomplish. However, some people look at that in a negative light. I didn't get to do it and you're doing it. Unfortunately, they're jealous of their child.
It could be something simple as having a small waist, honey, and they jealous of the way how
Skin complexion,
yeah,
hair.
not that you're not a beautiful woman, but it's just, oh, she looks more beautiful than me because I don't have that girlish figure. Well, you're not a girl anymore.
Right.
You're an adult. You're a grown woman. But yeah, it could be something simple as that. No, I'm not jealous and competitive. I help my daughter be we're competitive together. So no.
Teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. But if you read the article, they gave an example. It said if the child's father gives the daughter a little more attention than he gives the mother, then the mother can become jealous and punish the little girl. Are you serious? That can happen?
Yes, Now that does happen. Yes, yes. But I mean, I don't mean any harm. And anybody that has a daughter knows that daughter is gonna be the apple of that man's eye,
Absolutely.
and it's almost and I laugh at people because they do kind of like, girl, if you don't get off of, and but some people actually do become super jealous. But you should know that once a man has a daughter, listen, it's over for you almost. So you might as well just go ahead and get over that part.
Really?
Not that he loves the daughter more than he loves you, but it's just that bond that daughter and her daddy has.
But the woman
So
needs to realize it's a different type of love.
it is
So
definitely.
stop trying to put it all in the same box.
Yes,
It's a different type of
absolutely.
love. And
Yes,
I
it is.
love the fact, especially, quick story, my middle daughter, she was definitely early on a daddy's girl. And I was happy because guess what? Here, take her. I can go in another room and be by myself.
You know,
Let you deal with all of that. I'm good on her, but she was a daddy's girl, I mean, a true daddy's girl to the point she would cry when he would leave the house. And I'm like, oh my God, this is weird, but okay.
Really?
Yeah, she's the daddy's girl.
Oh, I used to do that.
You used to do what?
I used to cry when my dad would go out of town. If he went somewhere and he didn't take us, man, I would be sick, literally sick. Mama take me to the doctor for those 2 or 3 days. Yeah. And I mean, I was out for a minute trying to turn my whole phone off. But the jealousy part, have y'all already talked about that while I was gone?
No, we're
We're
still
doing
talking
it
about it.
now.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, even in the appearance, how some mothers dress around their children, it can be overbearing. It really can. And I think as a mother, especially when I'm supporting my kids somewhere or doing something on behalf of my kids, I need to look like their mother. Not that you look to look like their grandmother, but you need to look like their mother. And sometimes I have gone to my kids and said, is this too much? Am I okay? I'm mindful when I go up to, well, when I would go to places where they would be. I just think, but my point is, some mothers compete with their daughters in those areas, and it gets utterly ridiculous, in my opinion.
mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a mother that's not embracing aging. And regardless of, how you look at it, you're going to age.
Yeah.
And with age comes wisdom, and you need to then dress accordingly, especially when you're around your children. Now if you're
exactly.
going out with your girlfriends,
Right.
have at it, but when you're
I
around your children, take the attention off of you and put it back on your kids.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing that you just said, Miss Faye. If me and my daughter go out somewhere, and I have a few crop tops, but I may wear those if I go out with the girls. But if
Right.
me and my daughter are going out to the mall or something, I may not put on a crop top.
Right.
If she decides she wants to put on one, fine. But I may not put on one with me going out with her, because now we in here looking like sisters instead of mama and daughter, and that's not what I want to go. I mean, they already think that she my little sister anyway.
Mhm.
But I want to be able to distinguish the two, and I try to make sure that I am dressed appropriately. Now she may try to say someone because she will say to me when I'm getting ready to go somewhere with the girls, now where are you going?
But they're watching.
Mhm.
They're watching, though. I mean, they're watching.
Yes,
They're going to
Yeah.
be going out with their girls one day.
yes.
So let me ask the people in the chat, those that might be in the chat that have daughters. Are you like Lady Karen? Are you conscious of what you wear when you're around your children and their friends? I mean, do you care? Do you view them as a child, or you as the mother, and you're gonna wear what you want to wear regardless? And those in the chat, those that might be listening later, let me know. Are you conscious of those things? Man, are you respectful of your child's opinion? When you go out, cause or do you feel like you gonna show them you still got it? And then you showing them that you still got it, then that's subliminally, that's a way of competing or being competitive with your child. Like, girl, you ain't the only one fine. I still get all that. They do it too. I just thought about it. Lord, I think I threw up in my mouth a little bit thinking about it. I threw up in my mouth a little bit thinking about it. Oh, gross. My bad. I'm back. Wow. Okay, so what's the next? I told y'all we finish early tonight. We getting out of here. I ain't playing. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. But the next one is she never loves unconditionally. Her love is always based on some type of condition. Does anybody relate to that? Or can recognize that?
Will you please say your question again for me a little louder? I mean,
I it's it said that the mother never loves a
right.
narcissistic mother never loves unconditionally. And I said, have you ever witnessed that?
Oh yeah, that's what I would think. And I know a lot of people probably would not like me saying this, but I would think this would be one of the most common ones with mothers. We have to be very careful that we don't make our children feel if they don't rise to our level that there's going to put some kind of gap between my love for you. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. My thoughts and my opinion, what our child does. We, as the parents, should always love them, should always show love towards them. Now, you know, age appropriately, you show discipline, but I don't care. Y'all may not like something that my child does. That's fine. They could be wrong. As my mama would say, it's two left shoes. I'm gonna get in there, but I'm gonna be the one standing with them because I'm going to love them regardless. And I think I think people have to work on that. I really do, because I think most of our loves have an if. If you do this, then I have much love for you. And if you don't do this, we may not say that we're not going to love them, and that there's going to be some kind of distinction between now, you and I. But yeah, I think there is. I think we show it too more than we realize.
Wow. What you think, Faye?
No, I agree, because most narcissistic individuals, when they love, it has to come with it's conditional. What have you done for me to love you? Are you achieving those goals that I want you to achieve? Are you doing the things that I want you to do? And if you are, I love you. If you are not doing those things, I don't love you. So it comes with conditions.
Wow.
Well, and then if you're performing, if you're performing well or you're
Mhm.
overachieving,
Yes, I
that
will show you love.
I'll show you love. But the moment you stop doing it, go ahead, Karen.
Well, sometimes we have a lot of different situations that go on in our different communities. Do you see, when you see, especially, um, okay, I don't want to, I can't get off on the men, but when you see people in jail are coming before the judge, where is the parent? I mean, I really want us to think about it. We seldom see it unless it's our child that has been wronged. But what
Mhm.
about when your child did it? They are guilty. Where's the parent? So that's why I said I think this is most common, and we got to think about it because that's still your child, and we should still love them and show love towards them. But a lot of times we don't. It can be embarrassing when the
Mhm.
child does something to embarrass us. We
And
don't want
that's
to show
okay.
our
That's
face.
that's a natural emotion. That's okay to be embarrassed, but it doesn't mean not to love and support.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. That's good because I think a lot of people do love based on. Well, I know a lot of people love based on conditions. So that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's go to the next one. The next one is she intentionally intentionally undermines and embarrasses you. And it sounds like if a mother were to do though is participating in that type of behavior, she's doing that to try to bring attention to herself while demeaning you. Does that make sense? Is that what she's really doing? By tearing you down is building her up some?
Hmm. And mostly it's to tear the person down. Um, Like I'll give you an example. For me, I'm an alpha person, an alpha female. Not a lot bothers me, and so I would, project that onto my oldest daughter. She's very sensitive, and I'm like, why are you so sensitive? And we would have conversations, and with me, I'm telling her, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't say that, and then it embarrasses her because in my mind, because I wouldn't deal with those things, I wouldn't do that. Now I'm projecting it on her, that you shouldn't be doing it. And it wasn't intentional. I wasn't trying to bring her down, but I ended up doing it anyway. I ended up embarrassing her anyway.
Got you. Karen, anything on that?
My mind went back to when we was coming up, James. Our parents said, "Wait, you show out on Broadway."
You get dealt with on Broadway.
That's right. That's right.
You
So,
get it where you gave it.
huh?
You get it where you gave it.
Get it where you gave it. But and I still agree to that to some degree. But I think the embarrassment has to be tempered a little more now. A lot of kids are just softer. Yeah, they're softer than they were 40, 50 years ago.
Right.
And if you raised a soft child, don't be trying to, little things will embarrass them. So you have to temper that, knowing how you raise a child.
Absolutely. You have to know your child. Because my middle
part of it
daughter,
also was
she's me.
I think, so what
And
did I
so
say?
I can fuss. I say, and you have to know your child because my oldest daughter is more sensitive than my middle daughter. My middle daughter is like me. I can say things to her and she's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And keep it moving. And it won't embarrass her, She may be a little upset, but it won't embarrass her to the point where she feels like I'm demeaning her. But my oldest daughter, will feel like I'm demeaning her if I did the same thing. So, like, Lady Karen said, is we have to temper it now. We can't do the same things that our parents did to us. It doesn't make it, just because it happened to us, don't make it right.
Mm-hmm. And I think the motive of the embarrassment back then was a little bit different too. Because when you said because the key word is intentionally to undermine and embarrass you. Now they gave two reasons in the article. So number one is to make sure she never looks better than her, and number two to destroy her self-esteem. When they embarrass us, they wasn't trying to destroy our self-esteem. It was
just a
more
lesson.
It was discipline. You know what I'm saying? It was like a little verbal whooping right quick, and then keep on right go. You know what? Let me take a pit stop right quick. Ashley, did you see that post I put on Facebook the other day when I asked if you found yourself making a parenting mistake or what qualifies as a parenting mistake, did you go back and apologize to your child?
Apologize. Yes.
Did you see, like, out of 70 people that answered that question, every last one of them said yes? Do you believe everybody on there really goes back and apologizes to them kids?
No. Let me tell you why. Because, and one of the things I like about us when we get on these panels is how we are transparent about how we aren't the perfect parents. We just like James says all the time, we don't have all the answers. I know for me, I learned from these shows, but I wasn't a person who went back and apologized. I'm getting better at those things because one of the things that I'm realizing, and I have a friend and we talk about how we parent our children, our girls, is because I'm realizing that, not that I didn't know, but I'm not gonna say I didn't care, but kids have feelings too.
They do.
And just like we want somebody to be mindful of our feelings, I want to be mindful of my daughters as well. Do I do everything right? No. Am I trying to strive am I going to be perfect? No, I'm not, but I'm striving for perfection when it comes to those areas. And I believe, no, everybody probably ain't apologized not one time. To be honest, you probably put something on their mind when you put that post up to think about, maybe I should start apologizing because they got feelings too.
One of my homegirls, she called me and we talked. She talked to me about it, and And I said, "Do you apologize?" She said, "He double hockey
H
sticks
no.
now." I said, "Why?" She said, "Number one, I ain't never wrong." And she was laughing when she said that. And then I said, "Yeah, you wrong." She said, "No, I ain't never wrong." She said, "I might not apologize." Now, this is what she got me right here, Faye. She said, "I might not apologize, but I might say, you want something to eat?"
But you know what? And you know what? A lot of people do that, but those kids, our kids, need to hear, "I'm sorry. I apologize." However you want to say it, they need to hear that, because they be in, sometimes with the things that we do to them, they might be in their room crying behind what has happened.
Oh,
No doubt.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
if we
doubt.
never go back and right that wrong, we don't know what they could cause for them later on.
Gotcha.
I
But
have a sensitive child.
I get you.
And go ahead, sorry.
No, you good. I mean, but I wanted that punchline to fall for a second because you're 100%
Okay.
right. Because she said, "I might not apologize, but I'm gonna go in there and say, hey, but y'all want something to eat?" And that, something along those lines. And that's what a lot of our older parents did. You know what I'm saying? They might not have apologized, but they might be like, "Come on, y'all, let's go to McDonald's right quick. Let's go get some ice cream. I've taken something from you, so I'm gonna give you something back. I'm gonna
Something back.
if I've left a hole right here, let me replace that hole with a pleasant memory." You know what I'm saying? And right now, but going back to what you just said, Ashley, what we do, or what a lot of us do now that are not very good parents, or that hadn't been very equipped, or some of us are parenting on survival. I think that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna use that term. We're parenting on survival because certain things we didn't like about the way we were raised. So we're gonna put together this little mixture of parenting, and keep this and put that together. And then I'm gonna kind of go survive as best I can, and I'm gonna do it. But we leave so many casualties because, like you said, that child is in the other room crying because you didn't yelled at them and hurt their feelings and have embarrassed them, intentionally undermined them, right? And you talking about you apologize. No, you didn't. Or you don't think you need to apologize. Yes, they need to hear it. They need to hear it sometimes. Go ahead, Karen.
I wasn't about to say anything, but I
Oh,
will. Sometimes we parents, our vernacular to our children is totally out of order. We cussing them out. We're making them feel like they are less than. I'm not on my show, so I can't say what I want to say, but we really do make them feel bad and embarrassed. Sometimes the embarrassment, it may not be anybody else around, but it still eats at their self-esteem because you are my mother. You are somebody significant to me, and what you say to me means it means everything to me. So yeah, I think we need to kind of think about that a little bit more, because our mouth sometimes with our kids is horrible. Horrible.
I see it all the
Horrible.
Sometimes they feel like it's better to just give me a whooping.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather have a whooping than to, get the chastisement that comes comes out of the words that comes out of the chastisement that I get. Just give me a whooping.
Okay,
I just want us to think about it, because it really can mean a whole lot to them. Words are so powerful. And when they start acting out like we're calling them or what we're saying to them, then we want to say, "I didn't raise you like that." Yes, you did. Yes, we did. We did.
wow.
Also, do we think, Miss Faye and whomever can answer this, that if we pacify them with rewarding them with the gifts instead of just having conversations and righting the wrongs and acknowledging what you have done to them, do we think that we're making them or having them to believe that the way to fix things is by giving things that fixes all things?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
And Vanetta Starks says that when we do this, it's intentionally. When we do this intentionally, it's a form of It's a form of control. We're trying to control that child. Now, Josh said that maybe because he's a single dad and he has strong feelings for his kid's development, he does apologize. And if if he feels he was going too far, he says many times he feels it ensures to them that he does love them no matter what. So he tries to apologize because he is a single dad and he wants to foster that nurturing environment. So that brings us to the next point. A narcissistic mother nurtures a feeling of self-doubt, and insecurity in her daughter. She nurtures a feeling of self-doubt and insecurity. That's sad. That's pathetic. Who nurtures a feeling of self-doubt? So when the child is doubting themselves, rather than reassuring them and telling them what they can do, the narcissistic mother continues to nurture that feeling of self-doubt. Is that correct?
Well, that's a sense of control because they want that. The mother wants that daughter to always be dependent on her. She doesn't want an independent daughter. She wants a dependent daughter. So when you have someone, that's feeling that self-doubt, the mother wants that child to always come to them to ask them, what should I do? Where should I go? How should I do this? It's that whole control of wanting that daughter to be 100% dependent on her.
Wow.
So are they gonna financially support these children forever?
Well, you will have some that will do that.
Wow.
Will definitely give their child money so that they can be dependent on them. See, you can't do this without me. You can't go out and rent an apartment or pay your bills without me. See, you're gonna always need me. Of course, if they have it to do it, they will do it.
Just so they can feel like they're in control.
They're in control. They're controlling the situation
of something, because they may not have no other control in their life, and that's the only thing that they have to hold on to. It's a reality TV show. What is it? The Housewives of Potomac. There's one of the girls that's on there, and her mother has this type of behavior. And one of the things that she gets on national TV and talks about how she has paid her daughter's bills while she has a husband. And, I'm still having to do this and she has a husband. And, the house is in my name, just all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, are you really doing this to your child on national TV? Like, doesn't care. And she has no, it doesn't bother her.
When you have a parent like that, then you need to stop asking that parent.
Absolutely.
Because they're going to tell everyone what they've done for you. And if you know you have a parent like that, why are you? Because at this point, when you become grown, why are you upset that this parent is discussing your business when you're constantly going to them to bail you out?
And I'm sure her husband is like, I'm ready to go. I can only imagine. I got a couple of chapters in my book about stuff like that. My first book, I'm telling you, I believe he is like, look, let's go. I'm not. Yeah, that's yeah.
But see, she's become so dependent upon her mom. Sometimes they make us feel, or people just like, well, she probably has made her feel like you can't do nothing without me. And now you got a whole husband and he can't do it. He ain't gonna do what I have done for you. That's how I take the attitude that she has. He's not gonna do for you what I do for you. He's not gonna ever buy you or be able to take care of you like I have.
You're gonna definitely highlight it if you can't.
Yeah.
What did you say, Jim?
Definitely gonna highlight it if you can't. I say she's definitely gonna highlight it if he can't.
Yeah.
If the man can't do what she can do for him, she's gonna make sure she remind her that she can't do it for her, right? You hear me now? I got you.
That's okay.
All right.
I'm taking my phone to AT&T tomorrow because something obviously is wrong. Yeah.
I got you. All right. So the next one is she uses you as her gossip collector. She uses you as her gossip collector. She uses you as a gossip collector. In other words, if you go over to the family member's house and she didn't want to go, she's going to have you tell her everything that transpired while though. Is that right, Faye?
Yes. Gonna discuss everything about everyone with this particular person. And when you are under your mom's thumb, you will sit and listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Just so she can stir up some drama, huh?
Yeah. But if you're not careful, then you're going to get dragged into that narcissistic mom's, web, and you'll have other people upset with you.
Wow.
So that's like going over to daddy house and telling everything that the daddy got going on over there.
Mhm.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
And we
crazy.
was taught that you don't what go on in our house.
Stays.
It stays here, and you don't be telling nothing. Because everybody got that one auntie too that's gonna ask all them questions about what's going on in y'all house, so she can have a conversation about it later on. We couldn't tell nothing.
She said everybody got that one auntie, huh?
That one auntie, everybody got that one auntie that's gonna question the kids when they come over the house.
And so she's a narcissistic mama too, huh?
Oh baby,
I think that that's a character flaw with a lot of women. We talk too much. And
mm,
so I think we should be very careful in raising our daughters that we don't train them to talk too much. And
mm,
when we ask the questions, when they come home from dad, from aunties or whoever, and we start to ask them questions, we're training them to talk too much. We may not
mm,
realize it, but we are. They ought to be able to go and visit their dad and have a good time and not even have to think twice about what
Mhm.
I experienced at daddy's house. But
Right.
when I come home and now I got to give mama a rundown of everything that happened while I was over daddy's house, that's exactly what we're doing.
And you're making that child uncomfortable too, because you're putting them in a situation
Absolutely.
that they should not be in.
Mhm.
Wow.
Then you mad. Then you mad when they go over there. Be telling your business.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's good for the goose, but it ain't good for the gander. Nah.
Mhm. And that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she uses you as her personal gossip collector. That's what a narcissistic mother does to try to sabotage her daughter's life. Next thing she does, Lady Karen, can you hear me? I'm joking. She uses guilt to control you.
Yes, yes, yes. And when I was thinking about guilt, our children are younger and they have different gifts and different talents and things than we have. And sometimes they maybe do really well in this particular area, but they will, their room is messy, or they didn't do the dishes, or something else that we can pick on that is not as much um, of a good area or a strong area in that child's life, and we make them feel, okay, yes, you do good over here, but that ain't nothing, because look at you. The other area that we condemn usually is more personal than maybe the gift or talent that they have. And so I've seen it happen a whole lot because I'm around people, younger people who are very gifted and talented in supporting my children. And sometimes you will find that parent that, you know, just drive what they are not doing at home or in their, more personal than the gift of talent. And that child eventually is like, well, should I forget this, all of this. I'm done because I can't ever do enough. Mama's always gonna have something to say. Daddy would too, but we're not on the men tonight. So yeah, I want us to just think about that, because, and to balance that, I'm not saying that we should not train our children to do things well at home and take care of house first, but we have to be very, very careful that we don't guilt trip them into making them feel whatever they do is not important because I didn't do something at home. I didn't do what mom wanted me to do.
Good.
That's my two. That's my two.
That's more than two. What you want to add anything to that, Faye?
Well, I look at it when it's guilt to control your child. It's you're guilting them into doing something or not doing something. For instance, it going back to dad. Let's say, for instance, the mom has an issue with the father, they make that child feel guilty to the point where they may not want to go visit their dad because they know of the outcome, the backlash that they're going to get when they come back home. Oh, you love your dad more than you love me. That's why you keep going over there. That's the whole guilt and controlling of kids. You're guilting them into doing or not doing to benefit you, to spare your feelings.
Wow. Josh just gave an example. He said, my kid's mother guilts them all the time about not being around and makes them feel bad because she feels bad.
Mm-hmm.
She has tried to kill herself a few times and has said, don't leave me alone. I'm afraid of what might happen to me. He said to him, that's way too far. She makes them feel like if they're not around, then she could potentially kill herself. That is usually
Yeah,
guilt.
that's a lot of responsibility to put
It
on
is. That's
anyone,
sad.
let alone a child. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a lot.
Ash, you want to add anything to that?
I don't.
Yeah, that's pretty deep right there.
Yeah.
Josh, we're gonna be praying for you and your whole situation, man, for real. Hopefully, we can in the next few weeks or so we can give you some solutions.
I think can I suggest something to him that he makes sure that he, being the father, lets his children know that's not their responsibility. Somebody that is significant to those children need to speak that into them. If not, they're going to carry that forever. But I don't know, he didn't say, if so, I couldn't hear you say how old the children were, but someone needs to let them know that it's not their responsibility.
Yeah, he said I know he has a teenage daughter, so
Yeah, I think you
she's
said
working age.
16
Yeah, 16.
last
Yeah,
week.
she's working. Yeah,
Yeah.
16. She's a working age.
Oh yeah, it's definitely time to sit her down and have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He said to the previous point, he said he's caught himself asking what has happened, asking the child what's happened over there, and has seen how how uncomfortable it made them feel trying to ask those questions. So when we're talking about the mother using the child as for gossip or whatnot, he said, but he'll ask them not necessarily for gossip, but just to ask them what happened over there, and they feel super uncomfortable doing that. But to answer the question, Karen, he said the children are 15, 14, and 12. 15,
Oh, he
14, 12.
definitely need to have conversations with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
Sometimes even with asking your children, uh, how was it at your dad's could lead to inappropriate things or how was it at the other parents' house. So it's almost to the point where you can't really ask anything without them wanting to go into, especially if you are a person who wants to gather all the tea. Yeah, if you ask something like that, sometimes they feel compelled to just blab and say whatever. But I train mine. I ain't gonna say train. If they need to ask any questions about what's going on at your house or anybody else's house, tell them to ask your parents.
Mhm. That's good. But I don't want to say to him, because to me, in my opinion, Josh, your situation is a little bit different because the parent is putting so much responsibility on your children. So I can't say that when if I was in your shoes, when my children came home, I might would say something like, "Hey, you good? Anything on your mind? You need to tell daddy," or something open ended like that. Because I would be concerned about mine, knowing the things that you've told us that she has said to them. So just kind of try to balance it out.
that's good. That's good. Good open-ended statement without making them feel comfortable. That's good, Karen. I like that. I like that. All right. So here's the next one. The next one is, and Faye, I want you to explain this one, please, ma'am. It says she confuses your true reality by gaslighting you. She confuses your true reality by gaslighting you.
Did they really give an example of this? Because that can be a little bit of anything.
They did. Let me give. They said gaslighting. They said growing up, did you ever ever see or feel things that you were 100% certain of, but then you went and talked to your mom and she treated you like you were crazy?
Oh, yeah.
They throw me off some of these. They throw me off some of these examples. That's why I said, let me throw this a Dr. Faye right quick curveball. Bam! Let me throw it down. I threw it down the middle too, so hopefully you can knock it right
We'll
out the park.
elaborate on what you said, where the child feels very comfortable or confident in whatever decision they were making. And typically it's, if the mother doesn't agree or she didn't come up with it, because she may agree with your decision, but if she didn't come up with it, she'll make you feel like it's the worst decision ever. And she will try to get you to change your mind to something that may not be, the right decision. But it also goes back to control. It goes back to not wanting that child to appear or to become more, in her eyes, successful than her. So she'll do anything to, get that child to be mediocre. When when we should be making our children feel like they are superior, not in the way that they're better than anyone else, but that they can do just about anything they set their minds to. So yes, the gaslighting is making that child feel like your decision is worthless. You made the worst decision ever.
I'm getting so angry with these narcissistic mothers by listening to this. They just really pissing me, upset me for real.
Try living it.
Okay. Maybe never mind. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse to make the victim feel like he or she is going crazy.
Mhm.
So these mothers are literally taking these children, raining on their parade to make them feel and act like they're crazy. That's amazing to me. Why would you do that?
And it doesn't have to be making them feel like they're crazy. It's just making them feel like they can't make a right decision. Their decision that they made is the wrong decision.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And sometimes as parents, we're one of the most significant people to our children. And so we will say, they may tell us something that they're experiencing, and then we come with all the reasons why when you saw it that way, you saw it, but that's really not what it is. And this is how it is over here. And the child knows what they felt when they experience whatever it is. It's not always about what we see, but most of the time it's about how somebody or something made us feel. And so, as the parent, as the mother, sometimes we try to guide their emotion, their feeling, and that child already know they've lived it, they experienced it, they know how they felt when they went through that. And that can be when your parent, especially your mother, does not listen and does not care in the eyes of the children, doesn't care what I experienced or what I've been through. That can play on that mind very strongly.
Wow, that's deep. Ashley, what do you think about that? Ashley there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, now I can. We couldn't hear you at
I
first.
said I don't have anything to add to those points.
Gotcha.
The lady did great.
All right, cool. Let's go. We only got about 3 more, like I said. So if we get out early tonight, that would not be a bad thing. All right. So I'm tired. Y'all, them days in Savannah whooped me the other day. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right. So the next one is that she is, and we talked about this a little bit earlier tonight, but let's talk about it a little more. She is never empathetic. She is never empathetic. She's never empathetic. Somebody elaborate on that one for me. Whoever chooses to.
I will. Sometimes we have been through so much ourselves that we have that wall up and we become very hard and very callous. And we're used to not letting a man get past that wall. And I think sometimes we don't realize that wall is there for everybody. We focus on the man, but it's just there. If the wall is there, the wall is there. And so sometimes our daughters need us. They need a hug. They need, kiss on kiss on the forehead, whatever. And we'll let those moments, those intricate moments, pass by because we have a wall up against somebody who has nothing to do with what I have going on in my home. And so I just think we need to draw attention to that. And that's probably what this is saying here. Never empathetic. There's a reason why she's never empathetic. And it's usually said, wow, something has happened in life that she has built a wall and absolutely no one can get through, over, under the wall. That's it.
That's crazy.
I agree with you, Lady K. I agree with that. Um, I don't have anything really to elaborate on that. My daughter is one who likes to be all over, and sometimes I try not to push her away when she comes. And it's not, I don't necessarily have a wall, but when a child comes to you to embrace you, and we never know what those things may be for the reason that they're coming to. So, I agree with you. Sometimes people don't allow it, but if you can allow and welcome it, then do so.
Right.
It may be just their time that they need that hug or that, that extra level of scoot over so I can get into bed with you.
Right. Absolutely.
My child does that quite a bit, or just will walk up to me and put her head on my chest. And she may not even reach her arms out to hug me, but I'll hug her.
That's it.
So,
Yes.
And that's what this article says. The article says a mother should be there to sympathize with the daughter, show some type of support. But that narcissistic mother just doesn't have. Karen gave the why as to why she's like that.
mhm.
But for whatever reason, she just can't put herself in a position to feel their daughter's pain or whatever,
Be vulnerable.
or to associate with their daughter's pain. She's just, I guess, emotionally numb or whatever
Don't
towards,
want to be vulnerable.
or don't want to be bothered. Wow, that's a whole nother, that's a
Do
whole.
we think that they just don't care, or is it something that has happened to them that makes them check out, or I guess they will run into you don't care?
I can't. Okay, I think it's some of both. I think you have some mothers who don't care. I was reading an article the other day where there were parents that were confessing they don't, which we know, don't like their children. They didn't want the children. Meaning they were saying, they were forced. They felt forced into becoming a father before they were ready. So, and then there are some who, things have happened in life, and to become vulnerable makes them uncomfortable. So I think, to surmise it all, that there are some who have are on both sides of that table. But when we have children, we have to deal with our issues like overnight, or at least by the time that 9 months is up, and become a parent.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
that's
Vanetta says
mhm.
something. You see that, Faith?
Yeah.
She said sometimes that even becomes a competition. My
Hmm.
pain is worse than yours. Oh wow,
Wow, that's good. Yeah.
That is.
And it
that's
may
good.
be, but we're the parent. We are the parent. We may have gone through more things
Yeah.
than our child has. And
Yeah.
because once we go through them, we try to shelter our children from having to go through them. You may have done a really good job, Mom, in doing that, but you're the parent. So again, you have to deal with your issues, or need to deal with your issues before the baby gets here. But definitely by the time that child is,
Well, that's unrealistic because some people don't know they have those issues until they become a parent. So how are you going to deal with it before you become a parent if you don't even know until you become a parent? Because
whenever
a lot
I'm
of
going
us
to
do
go
not.
it.
A
When you
lot of
know
us
better,
don't know how we're
you're
going to
supposed to do
treat our children until we have children. Because you don't know if you're going to be dealing with, postpartum. You don't know what you're really going to deal with until you have that child. Some people check out. Some people are, from the beginning, they're just not loving individuals. And, no matter how much they, may get therapy or, around that child, they still may not love that child the way that child needs to be loved. And so just saying, oh, you need to fix it before that 9 months is up, they may not be able to, or they may not even realize anything is wrong until they start raising that child.
I agree, but that is not going to change the fact that if we don't fix our issue, we're going to raise our children with issues.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's my thoughts about that.
Ugh, that's crazy, but because but like you don't realize it. No, I mean I'm hearing Faye. You don't, and I get it because I don't think nobody intentionally means to be that way. You just end up that way. You know what I mean? If you weren't mothered properly, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, or you had a child at 15, you know what I'm saying, and you had to turn into a mother so fast, and you just and we talked about that last week about being emotionally detached. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't realize that you're doing it, you're not. I mean, it's just become a part of your natural persona, or how you love. Everybody don't love from the same place. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't show the same type of emotion. You know what I'm saying? A person that's been loved properly probably loves different, than a person who has not been loved properly. A person who's been raised on survival probably raises their children different than another. I thank God, I had, even though I was raised with a stepmom, but I did have a mother and a father, in the home, and I'm appreciative for those things. But I know it's some things that I was missing, you know what I'm saying, in that regard, but that's deep. So if she's never empathetic, that means that she had to have gone through me, had to have. Man, because I don't think somebody would just choose to be mean for the fun of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who just said, you know what, I'm gonna pick my daughter and I'm gonna automatically start just picking on you. You're gonna be my whooping boy, my whooping. It has to be something psychologically missing, you know what I'm saying? Or there's a psychological deficiency or something that is transpiring in going through that. Am I saying that right, Faye?
Yes, something definitely has happened, but then also, I go back to that. If you know better, you do better. Some people love to stay in that space of being the victim, and not wanting to grow. And so that continues on from when their child is an infant through adulthood. They always want to be the victim. And if you always want to be the victim, you're not going to change. You're going to stay in that space. So unfortunately, it's up to the child at that point to try to make a change and look in the mirror and say, hey, I don't want this life. I don't want to repeat this pattern with my own children.
Okay. And Vanetta said something else. She said that the nurturing switch for that narcissistic mother, it just never clicks.
Mm-hmm.
And women, mothers should be, or typically by nature, should be nurturers. And if that nurturing click never, wow, man, that probably speaks to why a lot of the transition that is taking place in a lot of young what's her name, Megan Thee Stallion said, I'm a savage, classy, bougie, and ratchet all at the same time. So I think a lot of them must be missing that nurturers. I know I threw that in. It might not have fit. If it fit, y'all let it ride. If it didn't fit, I'm sorry.
James, Lamentations talks about that. It talks about, mothers who will have babies, and it talks about leaving them in the sand for other people to come and warm and to nurture. There are some, I'm glad she brought that up, that don't. I think that's a really good way. That switch just doesn't come on, and they feel as long as I have somebody taking care of you, usually a grandmother or a great grandmother, then that's okay. But we don't realize how much we need as daughters, our mothers.
Oh, absolutely.
And just somebody is not okay.
That's really good. That's a good point. Thank you, Vanetta, for.
And by the way, Vanetta is my sister.
Okay.
Hey, Sissy.
Yes. We appreciate you for coming on and supporting your sister. We appreciate that. All right. So the next one is she always victimizes herself.
And that's what I was just speaking about.
Yeah. She always makes herself the victim in every situation. She makes herself the victim. So if she's making herself the victim, is that just making her the center of attention?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now everything has to surround her because she's the victim. So everyone typically caters to the victim. Find out, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? How can we fix this? And then you're putting your own emotions, your feelings, and your hurt on the back burner because you're trying to deal with a parent who's always a victim. And of course, we always try to, we want to accommodate our parents. We want to make sure our parents are okay. And that's how a lot of parents, get control over their children because they know the child is, going to look up to them, want the best for them.
Wow, that's deep.
Um, I think my child kind of experienced something like that, not necessarily um, on my side, but the need to try and not make the other parent mad, whether what they had to say was a valid point or not. It's just like she is shut down just for the sake of not having the parent be mad. And one of the things that I had to tell her was that people are not going to always agree with what it is that what you're saying, and they may have to look at themselves. And I would tell her too, if it was ever something that I was doing, then to point it out to me as well. But people are not going to always agree with what you're saying, but you shouldn't make yourself feel a certain type of way for the sake of making sure that they are okay. So I guess Dr. Faye, that example that you gave, I think a lot of people don't realize that they guilt trip their children into stuff as well. I think the eye-opening thing about it is, and James, you bring up these topics, but I don't think a lot of times people take the time to actually think about the things that we're doing. And I say that we're doing to our children because nobody ever points it out. They never break it down. They never have topics and conversations on it. So we go through life continuing to do the things, and then we create. And I'm not calling the kids children crazy, but we raise these children that have all of these issues when they grow up because of what we have done to them throughout their childhood.
Yeah.
That's
And
deep.
it doesn't really, I would like to say, it doesn't really matter. Let me say it and then I'll correct it. It doesn't really matter why we did those things to that child,
Mm-hmm.
whether which the deficit is on our end, but it can be because we experienced trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a strong statement, but I'm going to say we have to get those issues fixed because if not, we will repeat it. And when we don't, we repeat it. And so it's sad. It is sad for us that we can't do the fixing on our own. I wish there was a switch. We're talking about the switch. I wish there was a switch that we could flip and say, okay, now I'm a parent, so my time is over. But it's not. So if you need help, if you hear something tonight that makes you say, this is me, that is me, and I don't want to do that to my daughter, please reach out to James, to Faye, to Ashley, to my somebody, God, and get the help you need because if not, it will transfer to your children, to your daughter.
And you don't want things like this to transpire and it be something tragic because these children
Right.
these days are dealing with way more
Yes, ma'am.
uh
Ooh.
things that we're dealing with. And I don't, sometimes they can be demonic, a lot of times it is when they get inside of our children and have them thinking about self-harm because they feel like they can't have those conversations because when we do try to have those conversations, you're always shutting down what it is that I'm saying. And
Mhm.
so they're dealing with so many things and we oftentimes overlook because we're so caught up in our own selves and before you know it, it's tragic because you didn't take the time to number one pay attention to the signs or put yourself aside. That's a big problem. We always got to have our own selves in the spotlight and not deal with what's in front of us. It's right there. The signs be there. We just don't pay attention.
Well, I'm glad Faye suggested this topic, and I'm glad we looked at it twice because a lot of times I do topics like you said, Karen. I do these topics just to make some people think. and hopefully, because you said, in order for there to be restoration, first of all, there has to be recognition. And if a person never recognizes that they have an issue, then we can't do the restoration piece. And if we don't do the restoration piece, then there definitely is going to be some repetition in that whole piece. And so if we have the conversation, the Bible does tell us that ye are the light of the world, right? So if we're light of the world, then we got to kind of be light for the world as well. And as well. And being light for the world doesn't mean you shine the light in a person's face, but you shine it on the path, right? So they can see. And so hopefully we can shine it on the path, and the path will illuminate a mirror in such a way that the person will be able to look at the reflection and say, ooh, even with that question I asked, do you apologize to your children? I think folks were lying. They were lying. All of them. All of them apologize.
At least 40% of them were lying.
Yeah, they were lying. I would say, yeah.
You being so nice and say.
But James, I know I should have said 60.
Yes.
Yeah. What they lying behind, at least it made them think enough to say,
Oh, they thought about it.
Yeah.
Maybe but we had the conversation, James.
Yeah.
And I'm transparent. I wish, my only regret is I didn't apologize to my children sooner. I wish I would have apologized when they were younger. Now, yes, I apologize now, and I've apologized for anything that I, did, and I'm not going to say may have done, because I hate when people say, if I did this.
You know you did something.
You did something. So I apologize for the things I know I've done, and like I told them, I've made a million mistakes. I might make a million more, but now I'm at a place in my life where I can apologize. I can kiss you, and I can, have these conversations. My only regret, I wish I would have done it when they were younger instead of waiting until they got a little bit older.
Oh yeah. And that parenting thing, you'll always hear me say that parenting thing is on the job training. You know what I'm saying? It's on the job. You get things wrong. I messed up so bad in the early years of my children. I sucked as a parent. I ain't used to be lying going to hell. I know I sucked. But I just had to learn. You just treat them like they're inanimate objects sometimes, and they can just handle everything. And you're yelling at them in the morning and all these types of things. And finally, like I said with Trey, I had to realize at a certain point, heck, he just wasn't a morning person. Me, I wake up with the birds 6 o'clock. I'm up wide, but some people just aren't like it. Now he is, because he's up doing podcasts at 6 o'clock in the morning, listening to podcasts and trading and all that stuff. But at that time, he wasn't. And I'm yelling at him, and he's got his lip twisted, and he got to go to school with all that on his mind, deal with me before he goes to school. And think if it's just me and I wasn't cussing and stuff, what about those that are cussing at their kids and talking crazy to them first thing in the morning? And then you're breeding these bad behaviors. You're breeding anger, man. You're breeding straight. And I think I got the next topic I want to talk about. I'm not going to say it now because I don't want to hedge myself in, but I think I got the next topic I want to deal with. But I think, when we play this whole victim piece and make our children feel like it's their fault that our lives are the way they are, how do we put that responsibility on a child? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Because we don't want to own up to our own indiscretions, mistakes, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. So guess what? It's easier to blame someone else. It's easier to blame that child and said, I had to give up my life because I had you. Ooh, last time I checked, I didn't ask to be here.
Sure didn't.
No, you have to give up your life because you open your legs irresponsibly. Okay, I'm a back up because
but
either way it go.
That's what happened, basically.
Jordan.
That's what happened. All right, this is the last one, y'all. And like we ain't finishing as I thought we were, but we're gonna finish a little sooner. But this is the last
before midnight.
Yeah, girl, we're gonna get people used to this new time. They got to get used to it, so that's cool. All right, this one. She sabotages your relationships. That means your mama is all up, as Ashley would say, all up in your business. Even in your relationships, she does things to sabotage those relationships. Karen, you got to shaking your head on that one. You act like you know something that happened firsthand with that one.
That just takes me back to what Faith said earlier about giving your kids money so that you can say you did it, they didn't do anything. Why would you do that? I mean, they need relationships, they need friendships, they need sisters and brothers, they need all of this on their age level so that they can have peers, people in their age group that they can talk to and they can relate to. It doesn't really say to the parent about the parent that they don't have a good relationship. It's not that. They just need other relationships outside of their parent. And I just think, I don't know, that confuses me. It really does, because our children are not going to tell us everything. I don't care how close your relationship with them is, and they will tell you a lot of things if they like you, because some children don't like their parents, but they will tell you some things, but they're not going to tell you everything. So I think they should have close friends that they can share things with in their own age group. And mother, step back. Please step back. I mean, choose the friends, I guess, depending on how old the child is, but step back and allow the child to grow, you know. And I'm saying that because if anybody watches this that grew up with me, they're going to remember me saying to them, you don't have friends. And I mean that. But you also know what I mean. I think you need to have people that you can talk to and grow up with. Yeah. Go
We can't
ahead,
hear
Faye.
you, James. We can't hear you.
Faye, Karen, appreciate that for that, Karen. But Faye, when it talks about sabotaging relationships, what all types of relationships are they referring to?
It could be sibling, it could be friends from school, it could be, a boyfriend, girlfriend, a significant other. It could be any type of relationship, because the thing is, when you're becoming too close to someone else and you appear to be happy, a narcissistic mom really does not want you to be happy. So it could be, so that person could be the center of attention. Let's handle siblings. If that mother wants to be the center of attention, then she will go between siblings and talk about each of the children, so their relationships aren't strong.
Are you kidding me?
It happens. Trust me, it
It
happens.
does.
It happens. So now you have the siblings upset with each other, really don't know why they're upset, but the common denominator is the mom. And the mother will get enjoyment out of the siblings not getting along. I mean, and it could be a friendship. When, girls are growing up, now you're preteen, you teenagers. So now you want to be around your girlfriends more. You have more to say to them. You're talking to them. You're wanting to hang out with them. Mother may come back and say, hey, you shouldn't be hanging out with this little fast tail girl. She's no good. She's going to bring you down. And it could be the furthest from the truth, just to break up the relationship.
That's crazy. Y'all really making me feel some type of way about these narcissistic mamas out here. I promise you. Because I must be, Ashley, I'm just oblivious, I guess, living in this world. I must be a straight oblivious, because I couldn't even imagine some of this stuff that y'all are saying is happening between mothers and their daughters. And is this specific? Is some of this specific to mothers and daughters, or just parents and children, period?
It could be parents and children, period.
I agree.
It could be fathers too.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Men, well,
yes.
to be honest, statistically, men are more narcissistic than females.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Put your amen and all that carrying on that stuff.
I'm just saying.
I want you to show me the statistic you agreeing with.
I'll listen. Just period, all around. Just think about it. In the workplace, narcissistic men.
I don't work for nobody, so I don't know about all that.
But you in a workplace. You work. You do something.
I'm working
a lot of time in relationships, not narcissistic men. Okay. It happens a lot more common amongst the males than it does.
Sabotages your relationships. That was
so did you want to hear it, or did you not want to hear it?
I didn't want to hear.
Oh, you sound a little controlling.
Tonight we're talking about narcissism. Tonight we're talking about
Now he's
narcissistic
controlling
mothers.
everybody.
You
Look,
sound a little not. You sound like you might be on the cusp of
That was
being.
one of the three.
Ashley, what did I say?
You
That
said
was
it.
that was one of the three.
I'm
Hey, you
thinking
gotta have
it's
5
4.
though. That's
He
one of
getting
the
closer,
three.
Miss Faye.
He getting
No,
closer.
that was one of the 3.
If we don't want to talk about what he want to talk about, he skip on up what we talking about.
But I made a whole sign that said jealous parents when mothers are jealous of their daughters. So that's what we're talking about tonight, right? Mothers that are jealous of their daughters. We stand on
But
topic.
you asked.
We
You
stand on
asked.
topic. We stand on topic. We stand on topic. We're gonna stay on topic tonight.
We on. It's ladies' night, right?
No, but we're still, and I'm the moderator. We're gonna stay on topic. Let me show you. Hold on. Let me show you this banner right quick. One more time.
We don't want to see it. You wasn't on the flyer this week. It was me, Miss Faye, and Miss Karen.
Ways a narcissistic mother might try to sabotage her daughter's life. We didn't say nothing about men on this particular topic.
Somebody is in denial.
Well, hey, I got 3 of the characteristics according to the doctor, so I'm just only need 2 more.
She said 4.
That's 4.
That was 4th one. The 3, the 3rd one that wasn't in the first 3.
I had to go back through them. I think you have 4.
Okay.
We'll work on it.
May the Lord watch between me and you. Wow. Hey, listen, tonight we've gone through all 13 of these tonight. We actually got through all 13 tonight. So we try to do showtime, and we'll see how it works going forward. But I appreciate y'all for jumping on tonight. I'll extract the sound and put them on Spotify and Apple, whatever it is, Apple Podcasts later as well. And we can continue this conversation. But it's been real. It's eye-opening for me. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with YouTube, because people keep putting these little codes in here, and I don't understand.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if something's messing up while they're trying to add comments or what. But do you know those people?
I thought it was hacked.
Do you recognize some of those names?
I
Patricia
do.
Kennedy.
I have to go back and look.
Patricia Kennedy, Catherine
I was thinking it was
McLaughlin.
hacked.
You think it was hacked?
I do not.
But that's what I was thinking. Because, was it Cynthia Maxwell? Does that name ring a bell?
No, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. If it was hacked, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But tonight was good information. Like I said, it was good information. We talked about 13 ways and that mother might. And we also learned that men are more narcissistic than women. So we got that part down tonight too.
Huh?
But I said we learned that men, and I got 4 characteristics. I'm one more, and I'm gonna be a narcissist. So I'm cool. Hey, I told y'all I spend time in the middle. Now,
gaslighting and everything.
Man, let me tell you something. I will kill myself I'll commit suicide before I let you kill me. Trust me. I mean, I know my shortcomings. I know all of my shortcomings. Believe me, I do, and I'm learning more of them. Believe me, I said I know them all. Learn. That's kind of oxymoronic. But hey, I had fun tonight. Regardless, good information. Faye, thank you. Karen, thank you. Ashley, thank you. And we're going to continue to have these hard conversations, and hopefully someone will listen. And I think if we do it right, we can actually touch about 3 generations. We can touch people our age. Those in our age, people have daughters now and children, and some of those are childbearing ages themselves. So then they're going to have children, and then we can have a trickle down effect if we can continue to share this. This is my contribution. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a whole lot, but if I can try to affect a generation, and this is the way I'm going to do it, then this is the way that I choose to do it. So, okay. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and trying to help get this message out. All right, Karen, we're gonna get your technical difficulties worked out one of these days. I promise you are.
I'm taking my phone to AT&T tomorrow.
We're gonna get them all worked out, and because you be listening, trying to put you won't want to miss nothing. You got your ear up to the screen. I know you want to hear. No, I appreciate you too. But yeah, listen, we're on the path to better. We're gonna have a good week, rest of the week, and we'll come back and we'll do it again on next week. All right. And like I always tell you all, the world is changing. My question is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good night, okay?
Good night.
God bless.
Good night.